There is a pattern that repeats itself after every major disruption: hurricane, grid failure, civil unrest, supply chain collapse, and the pattern is always the same. People who had prepared adequately before the event managed. People who intended to prepare but had not yet gotten around to it discovered, in the worst possible circumstances, exactly which items were most critical and most impossible to find once everyone else was looking for them simultaneously. The window before a crisis is when preparation is cheap, available, and calm. The window after is when it is expensive, scarce, and desperate. The 7 items on this list are the ones that consistently appear on the wrong side of that window for people who waited. The urgency of May 2026 is not manufactured. Supply chain pressures across multiple critical categories: medical supplies, water filtration components, shelf-stable food, and communications equipment, have been documented and tracked by procurement analysts across government and private sector preparedness organizations. The items that disappear first in any demand spike are not the items people think of last. They are the items that seem universally available until they are not, and the time between still available and month-long backorder in acute supply situations has historically been measured in days, not weeks. The first category that fails most households is medical readiness. Most homes rely on a basic first aid kit built around the assumption that help is always nearby. In normal conditions, that assumption holds. In extended disruptions, it does not. Real preparedness at the medical level is not about minor cuts and superficial treatment. It is about the ability to stabilize injuries when professional care is delayed or unavailable. That includes bleeding control, burn management, and temporary trauma response that goes beyond what a standard household kit is designed for. One of the more complete configurations that fits this gap is the Swiss Safe 2-in-1 first aid kit. What stands out here is not just the contents, but the structure. It combines a 64-piece primary kit intended for fixed household use with a separate 25-piece compact kit designed for mobility. In practice, this splits medical readiness into 2 layers, one that stays at home, and one that moves with you in a vehicle or secondary location. That separation matters because emergencies rarely happen where planning assumes they will. Having a secondary kit already positioned outside the home removes one of the most common failure points in real situations: being away from supplies when something happens. The link is in the description. The second category that fails most households is water. Modern life creates the assumption that water is always available because it flows from a tap without effort. What is often overlooked is that this system depends on continuous electricity, pressurized distribution, and centralized treatment infrastructure. When any one of those layers is disrupted, water availability becomes uncertain very quickly. In practical terms, water is not something that becomes important after a long delay, it becomes critical almost immediately. Within a short time frame, dehydration begins to affect physical performance and decision-making. After that, the greater risk is not just lack of water, but the quality of whatever water can be found outside of the normal supply chain. One of the more practical tools that fits into this gap is the Life Straw personal water filter. What makes it relevant is not complexity, but simplicity. It is designed to allow direct filtration from freshwater sources without the need for power, setup, or additional equipment. The internal hollow fiber membrane system is capable of filtering up to 1,000 gallons of water while removing 99.999% of bacteria and 99.9% of protozoa. In real-world terms, it shifts water access away from infrastructure and back to source-level availability. Anytime a natural freshwater source is available, the system allows it to be used immediately without chemical treatment or waiting periods. It is lightweight, portable, and does not depend on storage capacity, which is often the limiting factor in household preparedness. The link is in the description. Beyond medical readiness and water access, The remaining systems form the operational baseline of day-to-day survival during infrastructure failure. These are not advanced or specialized tools, they are the basic functions that modern systems normally handle in the background without notice. Lighting is the first layer. When electrical systems fail, visibility becomes one of the earliest and most immediate limitations. A reliable off-grid lighting source restores basic function after dark and prevents dependence on unstable or unavailable grid power. Communication is the second layer. Most modern communication depends on internet infrastructure, which is tied to both electricity and centralized networks. When those systems fail, the ability to receive information or coordinate becomes limited very quickly. Independent communication tools remove the dependency. Food storage is the third layer. Modern supply chains operate on continuous delivery rather than local storage. When that chain is disrupted, even temporarily, access to calories becomes a logistical issue rather than a purchasing one. Shelf-stable, energy-dense food provides a buffer between supply interruption and availability. Fire capability is the fourth layer. Heat, cooking, and sterilization all depend on the ability to reliably produce fire without external systems. Once disposable ignition sources are unavailable, that function becomes harder to maintain unless a backup method exists. Finally, shelter stability is the fifth layer. Granted until demand spikes during real disruptions. At that point, availability becomes uncertain even for basic items. This is not a prediction of what will happen. It is an observation of what already fails first when systems are stressed. The link